guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me reminiscing on the last 2 years of teaching and showing you guys what my classroom looked like at the very beginning of my first year to the very end when I go in to walk down the hallways for the last time. I just really wanted to make this in order to reflect on it years later and just kind of share some of my thoughts. Sad story, I actually filmed this whole video, thought it was fantastic, realized I had my phone flip-flopped the other way, and I was looking at the other side thinking the camera was there when it was on the opposite side. So I was so sad and I was like, dang it. But here we go, take two. I'm gonna start off by just showing, I have a little video of what my classroom looked like from my first year, so I'm gonna insert that here. As you can see, I have Hale because that's my maiden name. I wasn't yet married to Seth. We were still dating at that time. He actually proposed to me the very last day of my first year of teaching. And so we got engaged the last day, took that whole summer planning a wedding, and got married July 30th. So it was a very quick, short engagement. But we made it work. We wanted it to be short. I didn't want to worry about planning a wedding or preparing for one while I was in the school year come August. So in my head, I was like, I have the most time right now to just focus on this. So we just focused on the wedding and got married by the end of the summer. So going into my second year, everything was changed to Hill. I got to make new signs and everything in the room. And it's honestly funny because Hale and Hill are so similar to where my students would honestly, even my new group would call me Hale sometimes, like they'd seen that on my badge or other things. And I wouldn't even sometimes hear it because it would be so similar. But that was kind of funny. My first year, if you noticed, I have desks, and then I transitioned to tables in my second year because I primarily was the centers teacher. So how it would work is me and a coworker, we both taught math and science. I loved her, by the way. Her name is Michelle, and Michelle, if you're watching this, I love you. You're amazing. I had the best co-working teacher. We both taught math and science, like I said. She would do whole group instruction, and then they would come to me and we would do centers and small group, and I would get to see them more one-on-one. Where are they at? Did they grasp the skills? How do I need to reteach this to some advanced ones? How do I push them further? And so what was interesting is I would find myself sometimes feeling like I'm not teaching just because I wasn't teaching ever a new thing. Like, unless it was science, they'd already heard it before from Michelle. And so coming to me, I was just, working one-on-one. It has its pros and cons. You get to see them, like I said, in this setting where, okay, 5 or 6 of them are with you and you really can help them. On the other hand, teaching a whole group is just totally different. It's totally different to do both of those. So I did all small group most of the year. If we were behind a unit, I might do some whole group teaching, but for the most part, it was just the small groups. And so I transitioned into tables because that was more conducive just for what I was doing, obviously. I will insert my classroom as I was going to say bye for the last time and walking down the hallways. All right, my last time walking down these hallways, potentially to my room. Okay, so I'm getting pretty emotional as I do this. But here is my empty classroom. It looks so sad. really sad because I have, had this key to this building for 2 years now. I could go in the evenings, I could go print something, I could go prepare something. Oh, I'll go in on the weekend. So it was weird to return the keys and know this building is no longer mine, and that was really sad just to think of all the memories, and I might get emotional. But I'm gonna try not to. Just all the memories of being with the team I got to teach with. They were so sweet and kind, and we had just a lot of fun, and I learned so much from them. I learned so many strategies and tactics and ways to talk to students and talk to parents, and just different challenges they really helped me through. And so knowing this is where I also interned. So my senior year of college, I did my full internship at this same school, and it was an amazing experience. And so then getting to teach in that same building, I've just had the beginning of my teaching career has been here. And it's been so good for me, and God's been so good to me by giving me this place. And so saying bye is really difficult. Like, I don't even know if it'll hit me until we actually drive away and I'm not right across from the school. Because right now, our apartment, we live right across from the school, and I can still see it. We still go on walks past it. It's still like just right there. So it's gonna just feel so weird leaving for good. And after we come back from traveling, if we come back to this town, I'll go back to teach at that school. But if we go somewhere else, I would honestly love to teach at a Catholic private school. I'm Catholic and I love my faith. I have such a passion for it. And it has been so difficult. Probably one of the most difficult things these past 2 years is just not getting to share my love for Jesus with these kids, or getting to really share the gospel. Now, I always think about, I think it's St. Francis of Assisi has a quote that says, always preach the gospel, and if you have to, use words. And I've always thought about that since I was in high school, just living out my faith and being a light to these children and being a light to those around me and showing love. And I know that's so important. But also on the flip side, I think it can be so easy to excuse not talking about it enough because you feel as though, well, I'm acting it out. And that's great. But then knowing sometimes I'm not preaching the gospel. I'm not sharing how to have this personal relationship with Jesus. I'm not speaking into these wounds with what I know would give you the most life. And it's like this hard balance being in a public education system where I understand the line of, okay, it's not my job necessarily to push any of my own beliefs onto you, especially when I think about my own child having a teacher with different beliefs from me, and I wouldn't want them to push their beliefs onto my child. Not necessarily their place, and it wouldn't be my place. But then on the flip side, I think about how, as Christians, we are called to be disciples for God, and the whole purpose of our life is to glorify Him and give Him praise and speak His name and uphold the truth. And if I'm not doing that, it's like, what am I doing? And so I've struggled just with wanting to share more of my faith in this setting and thinking that would be awesome to get to go do, whether that was any kind of Christian private school, just getting to share in this in getting to share my faith and really help students that way and have those deeper conversations, more meaningful conversations. So I don't know. And then on the flip side, I feel like, okay, public education systems need Christian teachers just as much. And even I could also do so much better at sharing the gospel at my grocery store or different places that I go all the time, or coffee shops. And I don't always do that with my words either. So there's all these different avenues where I'm like, I could just all around do so much better at sharing my faith in words as well. So that's just a difficult little thing. Another thing is I've only taught 2 years, but it has felt like 5 years at least. I mean, it is just such an exhausting occupation. And I know any teacher will tell you that. It has its ups and downs. You love it, you hate it, you can't decide, how long will I do this? Because sometimes I am like, there is no way I could retire in this occupation. But then other times I'm like, there's nothing else I could see myself doing. I love this. I feel like I was meant and made to do this. The Lord has really graced me with this ability to teach naturally, it feels like. And I know I want to keep using that. I could see myself, God willing, having a big family and wanting to be a stay-at-home mom and also homeschool. Now, I don't know how long I'd homeschool, if there'd be a period where they would like go to a public school or a private school, or I don't know. I don't know. There's so many questions and so much where I'll just have to let the Lord lead me into what that looks like. So thank you guys so much for being here, for listening to part of my story and hearing about my teaching experience. I hope you're having a great day, and until next time, bye.